Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, agents. I'm Matty Curl with a look at your global modifier events and some information about news for week 2 of the PTS. Now, let's jump right into the PTS and how things are going with the first global event. But first, the PTS for consoles is coming soon. Don't worry, it'll be out real soon. Information and invites should be going out. I think I heard Tuesday or something like that, but the console PTS should be live sometime this week, so good luck to all the people who go ahead and get their invites for that. So now originally I was going to talk about my first impressions of the global events, and sure, let's go ahead and do that right now. I have been so far enjoying it. The heads exploding isn't as bad as one would think. It doesn't take you out of the Division feel because you don't really notice it because you're really just out there killing people. It's a bit out of the realm, and zombies would probably be a much more realistic approach, but it's not terrible as people were making it out to be. I know a lot of people who thought the idea was dumb and wasn't really worth going in for, but it does liven things up a bit. And with, you will not get classified gear from running any of these as previously thought. Like Hamish said, there's no guaranteed classified gear ever that you're ever going to get. You will never be guaranteed classified gear. I just want you to say that because that's going to come up and be important in just a minute. But you will get a minute amount of tokens toward gear caches as you're running these missions, and you will need to run about 7 to 8 hard missions in order to get one of these gear caches. With a group of 4, that shouldn't be too hard. From the leaderboards I saw, the top tier players were getting like 3 caches per hour. With the effects of the level 1 and 2 threats added in, there are some cool new effects, and those aren't terrible as well. The focus on the exploding head seems a bit preemptive because now they've gone ahead and changed the color from green to orange, and it seems like you're really just shooting their head off, and it doesn't, not every kill is a headshot. So it does add a bit of a fun idea to the game, and it's no real different idea than the exploding confetti skulls that Halo had inside of it. After running 2 missions though, I did already feel like I was a little bit bored, but that was mostly because I knew that it wasn't, anything that I did was going to be it was just going to be a grind for nothing, since the PTS wasn't going to give me anything I could carry back over to the actual game. This was really telling for me as to how much I would actually play 1.7 once it was released. And for those wondering about my opinion on whether 1.7 will bring you back, well, let's just go ahead and keep talking, and I'll give you my honest opinion on this toward the end of this Let's Talk. Now, from here on out, I'm going to speak with a small group of people that are playing the Division right now, and those are the hardcore players. So why is that? Why is Matty Carl talking to those people? Because, well, the casual player is no longer the focal point of the Division and Massive, and from what I can tell, it appears with this update they have completely given up on the casual player, and who knows, this is still week 2 of the PTS, so they could, but they chose to focus this update on the hardcore players who are going to go ahead and just put in a ton of time. And why do you say that? Because I know some of you casual players out there that are playing like 1 or 2 hours a day, and these are for the hardcore players that I'm talking about, people that are putting in 4 to 6 hours per day. And well, that's because in order to get any semblance of classified gear, at least on the PTS right now, and it could change, it could very well change, you are going to need to put in a ton of time. And I'm not talking about like an hour a day. I'm talking about a shitload of time every single day. How much time, you ask? Well, let's put it this way. Matt Shacha said that you should probably expect to receive 2 to 3 pieces of classified gear per week. That's 2 to 3 gear sets, not sets, just pieces per week. And that sounds fine to me. I'm happy with 2 to 3 pieces, but the problem is you are not guaranteed any of those pieces, because reports from the forum and Reddit indicate that luck is a huge factor and is the main skill that gets you the classified gear sets. One agent over on Reddit reported opening up over 18 classified caches and getting 0 classified gear pieces, while one agent reported opening 2 and getting a set piece right off the bat. This has a very scream of Barrett's chess piece and running Lexington over and over again just for these pieces. And while that's all fine and dandy, you're still not guaranteed any classified gear. You could open up 100 caches and never get a single piece of classified gear. Now, this doesn't indicate what I mentioned previously, because what leads me to believe that Massive has changed gears is their leaderboard. Welcome to the hardcore leaderboard, a leaderboard that welcomes only those who are willing to race through the content in the fastest way possible and accumulate the global event tokens in the fastest way possible. The leaderboard pretty much is a dedication and a memorial shrine to those who are the most hardcore and can farm the fastest and get the most tokens in 1 hour. Now, to give you even more perspective on the continuation of Massive to completely go off the rails with this, and Skill Up, right now, Skill Up, I'm talking to you. If you're reading this, I 100% completely agree with you, and once again apologize, because as more and more stuff comes out about this, I agree with you more and more, and even more so now because of this next item. When we were told about global events, we were told we would earn classified gear, not earn a chance at classified gear. That's correct. You are not ever guaranteed classified gear. Each of the classified caches takes on the week 2 PTS 650 global event tokens to open. These caches can contain a host of high-end gear, gear sets, exotics, and a Barrett's chest piece drop rate, which is classified gear sets. The classified gear drops apparently seem to be at like a 0.1%. Sadly, you could also get a white or a green item, and I'm not talking about a mint colored gear set. I'm talking about the screw you of all screw yous for Massive to do to you, and that is getting a green useless piece of garbage that you used to get when you were between level 1 to 30. Now, seeing as this is week 2, this gives us, the people who play the division and support the community the opportunity to allow Massive to correct this idiocracy of thinking that our hard-earned time is nothing more than getting, screwed over completely. We are not invaluable people playing this game. We are the community. We are the players that make up the community, and our time is valuable. And that is something they have completely gone back on. Now, don't take this to mean I think they should be giving out classified gear pieces, but more so they need to remove the RNG altogether. Allow us to purchase the pieces, and even with the equivalent playtime, make them worth 20,000 tokens if that's what they feel they are worth. But a classified cache purchased from a vendor should have a 100% chance at a classified piece, and maybe even have a couple of actual pieces for sale on a rotating schedule that would cost like 40 or 50,000 tokens depending on the roll for it. You see, this was the original issue, and Massive, you have definitely forgotten about how we, the community, felt back in 1.3. I just want you to go through and look at the numbers of the people and how you were on a downward trend. The division was all but dead right around 1.3. You had a few hundred players playing on PC. You had probably even, around 1,000 to 2,000 to 20,000. I don't know how many players were on console, but the point I'm trying to make is our time is not invaluable. You should not underestimate the fact that you are playing with a community that has already gone through this type and given us the chance on the PTS to go ahead and nip this type of behavior in the butt and really just reverse this. We should be rewarded for our efforts and not hopelessly screwed over by a company struggling to keep their player base afloat with the same old shitty content. You're not offering us anything new. If you want to lose 50% more of the players, to quote Archer, this is the way you lose 50% more of the players. I'm tired of the slot machine approach to rewards that so many games utilize today to trap players into continuing to play only to screw them over time and time again. And you can't use real money to get classified caches. Thankfully, I honestly am surprised that they don't reward classified caches for doing stuff and then charge you for the keys to open them. That would be play to win, and at this point it is not out of the realm of possibility for what I can see them doing. So now, should you come back to 1.7 or should you wait until 1.8? Well, Skill Up tweeted that maybe 1.7 might not be something that you should come back for. Maybe you should skip it and come back for 1.8. I don't disagree with him. However, if you leave now, you probably won't be able to come back in 1.8 if DZ is your thing. At least not any Dark Zone PvP, because those hardcore players that do the DZ will have a whole 3 or 4 months ahead of you and will likely be geared up all the way, and you will not be able to get ahead, and it will make it impossible for you to go into the dark zone until you can match them. Luckily, the classified gear goes down, but they're still going to have 5 and 6 set pieces that you cannot overcome. It's going to be just OP people who have the time to grind this out against people who don't have the time to do it. Probably in the neighborhood of 6 to 10 weeks is what the estimates are for you to even get, the luckiest conservative estimate of getting a full 6-piece set. That's 6 to 10 weeks of somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 4 to even upwards of 6 hours of playtime every single day. 6 to 10 weeks. That's insane. You have a 1 in 36 chance when you open up a cache of getting one of the classified gear set pieces. 1 in 36. And that's not taking into the fact of everything else that you possibly could get. And if this is just if they just had classified gear pieces. 1 in 36 if they just had that. And and if you're getting 2 to 3 per week, that's 3 in 36. So every week you get 3 classified gear pieces, and there's 36 total. Now, taking into account never getting a dupe, you would at least need 12 weeks to collect every single piece. With duplicates, you are looking at a much larger stretch of time. Now, I'm not for doling out gear sets for everything we do, but to use the classified gear sets as a carrot on a stick to get people playing and grinding for a small, minute percentage seems to be a complete opposite of what this thing needed to happen. Sure, this is free, but it's not free if you're screwing over your players. It's not free. That's not how free works. Free indicates that you are helping us to give us content that we can actually play and enjoy. But after so much time of just opening up, I guarantee you, every time somebody opens up a classified cache and gets a white or a green or even a purple or blue, that is it for them. They are quitting. Personally, I would not want to spend an hour of my time to get that garbage. I leave purples on the ground still. So why would I go ahead and want to go ahead and open up a classified cache in order to get that, in order to get screwed over? The first piece of garbage I got out of one of those caches, I would quit the game completely. That is not something I'm looking forward to. You need to change that. And this is me telling you right now, Massive, if you do not change your ways, this is my video. This video goes back all the way back to when I was making these videos during 1.3, and I built a strong following off this channel based on these type of videos where I told you if you did not shape up, you would be fired. You would not get. You guys are making. You want people to buy a game called Avatar. You're making a game called Avatar right now, and you're showing people right now exactly what they're getting in that game. They're getting screwed over even before that game is even known, because that is what you guys do. That is what the mindset of what you guys are doing right now with the Division, and people are going to remember that. I remember Assassin's Creed Unity, and I have not bought an Assassin's Creed game since then, and I will never buy an Assassin's Creed because of Assassin's Creed Unity and what the shape of it was when it launched. I will never, ever buy an Assassin's Creed game again. I may rent one, but I will never invest time in playing it if I find a bug or anything like that. I guarantee it. This game is shaping up to be the same thing. I will not buy an Avatar game. Well, one, nobody asked for this Avatar game, and two, it's completely 20 years too late. Like I'm not interested. Not 20 years, but 10 years too late. I'm not interested in an Avatar game. So maybe I'm not your audience. Maybe there's people out there that are dying for an Avatar game that they need to go out there and buy this, but nobody asked for it. You're probably gonna end up canceling it. I'm just saying. But this Division is going to go along with that. And when you're done with that, all you're going to have left is Division 2. And how many people are going to buy Division 2 if this is the treatment that they're going to receive? They're going to receive a dicking for putting in time and not getting exactly something that's good. So let's go back and revisit what I had talked about. Make it so that the only thing you get out of the classified gear sets is classified gear. And make it so that people have to build up the currency. I mean, you're putting in this currency. Why not make it so that, you need 25,000 pieces? Figure out how much time you thought it would take somebody to get all 6 pieces of one gear set, and then calculate that and then make that worth the token. Put that in there, but do not give us this, classified gear caches and make it so that we get anything but classified gear. This is your call to action. This is a week 2 PTS alert. This is a warning. If you do this, people will leave the game. Again, even more people will leave the game. Their time is valuable. They do not need to burn out on this game. And, this is definitely the opposite of what needed to happen. People did grind Lexington for a long time, and so this may not be that different for those people. But some may welcome a new way to play, but looking at the events and the rewards, many people are going to burn out long before completing their first set of caches, especially since it's random. Anyways, that's my time for this. I hope you enjoyed this Let's Talk. I don't like leaving these long diatribes about how Massive is screwing over the community. Once again, just like 1.3, originally, before we knew before the global events, we thought, hey, this is, it's starting to feel like 1.1. Now it's starting to feel like 1.3 all over again. And if you haven't looked at Marco Styles' video, go look at Marco Styles' video about classified gear sets. And it's not really going to be applicable to anyone within the next 3 months because nobody is going to get a 6-piece set except for somebody who's lucky. And hopefully we find some exploits or glitches, because that is the only way that's going to make this tolerable for the long run. So like I said, it's not terrible. The global events are pretty good, and some of the stuff that you're doing is okay, but it's not the best implementation of how to do things. And in fact, I think it's probably the worst implementation. But then again, the good idea train doesn't come around this part, and except for every 3 patch cycles. Personally, I would buy a catch that fixed healing bugs first, but that's just me. Thanks again for watching. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video or found it interesting. Subscribe as we break down more information on these issues and more, as well as the shape of the game that's being played. If you think that this implementation is wrong, the best way to do is to go voice your opinion on Twitter. Seek out Matt Shacha, seek out Hamish Bodes, seek out Yannick, and let them know that this is wrong. This is the wrong way to do things, because this is not, our time isn't to be wasted. We don't need to waste our time grinding out these caches to not get anything in a cache. Like, these caches were supposed to be classified gear caches. I will pay $20,000 and we're only getting like 53 tokens per run per event and I'm sure it's more for legendary. I think it's 101 for legendary, but it's 53 for a hard mission with a boost of 23. So you're getting 73 per run. So you're doing like 7 or 8. It's just, I'm already starting to get bored just thinking about going through all of the missions over and over again, because you don't get anything in addition. There's no classified gear that drops. You're not getting it for defeating the missions or anything like that. You're getting the same gear over and over again. There's no reason to grind except for the tokens. That's it. That's all you're doing. And you're going to get bored long before you ever make it to those 6 pieces of classified gear that you need to make up that. And even then, what classified gear set do you want? You want the striker set? Well, you're only getting a shot at a randomized piece, and it's a small chance at that. So it's going to be even longer. It's going to probably be somewhere into 2018, I suppose, before the first person actually says, hey, I want that striker set, and let me go after that, and trying to figure that out, because you can't trade, you can't do anything. You just have to trust RNG that the classified caches are going to drop for you, and that's the sad thing. So if you're interested, drop a like on this. Subscribe as we break down more information on these issues as the PTS continues on, and more as we hope to shape the way the game is. Like I said, head on over to the Ubisoft forum, seek them out on Twitter, whatever you can do. Send them a message, send Thierry Spears a message. I don't know, anybody from Ubisoft you can send a message to, send them, let them know that this is probably one of their worst ideas ever to do to their player community, and unless they're trying to tank their game, they need to go ahead and reverse this decision and figure out a better way to do it, as I outlined previously. And I think that it's going to be, I don't mind putting in the time. I don't mind putting in the time to run 20 or 30 missions for one piece of classified gear. But if I run 20 or 30 missions, I'm going to be very upset if I don't at least get one piece. And from the looks of it, a lot of people are already experiencing that. So thank you so much for watching, and I just want to say my time is valuable, yours is valuable too. Don't let it be wasted. For all of us here at The Division Let's Talk, I'm Matty Carl, and we'll see you next time. Agent out.